Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Okay, guys, huge baseball fan here reacting. No, I want to put that in the thumbnail or in the title just because it'd probably make it. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of baseball, but I know more about baseball than cricket, so comparing the two could help me better understand cricket. So let's do it, guys. Nin Lai, good channel. I've reacted to a few of their videos. Let's go. Any cricket fans knowledgeable about the rules? If you could help me out in any questions, I am inevitably going to ask. I'd really appreciate it. The original link to the video, top description, below that link to the Discord. Click on it, send you right over there. I'd love to have you. My voice just cracked. Thanks. Awesome. Almost 30 years old.
Nin explains baseball versus cricket. For some reason, I get a lot of people making adverse comments on my videos on baseball and cricket. Most of them are just trolling, which is pretty sad, but quite a lot of them seem to be misinformed, and I'm here to put that to bed once and for all.
Ooh, that hit his shin.
This video will destroy the myths that each set of fans has in regards to the other sport, and show you why it's a largely pointless argument to compare the two. Before I get started, you know what to do. Subscribe and hit the bell.
Oh, there he is. Good looking chap. Hits the gym.
And let's start by destroying myths held by cricket fans about baseball. Cricket fans will always argue that it's harder to hit a cricket ball, but this is not true. A show by ESPN Sports Science completely disproved this myth. The contact surface area of a baseball bat is significantly smaller than a cricket bat, which means putting the ball in play requires more accuracy with a baseball bat.
Can I just say, to see if I sound smart before? So immediately I'm like, oh, it's got to be way harder to hit a bit. So what baseball, the more difficultness, it has the speed of the pitch, which has got to be faster in baseball than cricket, I'm assuming, and the shorter width of the bat, like you just said, right? But the thing that cricket has going for it that would make it a little bit more difficult than baseball is that, does it bounce? It does bounce, right? So like it bounces before you hit it, so it might be harder to hit to know the trajectory.
This was demonstrated where a pro cricketer tried to hit with a baseball bat with relatively poor results, and a pro baseball player tries to hit with a cricket bat with significantly better results. The reaction time has to be quicker in baseball too. The distance between the wickets in cricket is roughly 20 meters. The distance between the pitching rubber and home plate, 18 meters. Therefore, you have less time to think and react in baseball. This is not a myth. This is a scientifically proven fact. It is physically harder to hit a baseball with a baseball bat. Cricket fans will argue that cricket bowlers launch the ball faster than baseball pitchers.
I'd be surprised.
Again, this is not true.
Yeah, I'd be really surprised.
The average speed of a cricket ball at the top level is 88 miles an hour.
Actually, a good amount faster than I expected.
The average speed of a baseball pitch, 92 miles an hour. The fastest ever cricket ball, Shoaib Akhtar, 100.2 miles an hour.
Whoa.
The fastest ever baseball pitch, Aroldis Chapman, 105.1 miles an hour. Baseball wins. Cricket fans argue that cricket is played by more people worldwide. This is an annoying statistic, as cricket is played by fewer countries where the populations are massive, and cricket fans use this to over-exaggerate popularity and therefore superiority. Baseball is played in more countries where the populations are significantly less.
Well, you got Japan, obviously the US, Canada, and baseball is really big in Latin America. Both Mexico, Central American, and Caribbean countries for sure. But I still would have guessed that more people play cricket, and I'm shocked.
Baseball fans use this statistic to over-exaggerate popularity and therefore superiority. And even then, using populations or number of countries is not an accurate measure of how many people actually play the sport in these countries. To me, this does not dictate how popular a sport actually is. cricket fans deem baseball inferior because baseball players use a glove to catch the ball. Making fun of a sport because they use equipment for safety reasons is incredibly shallow. Baseball players use gloves as a safety measure, not because they're incapable of catching a ball without a glove. And any cricket fans who disagree with that, what's this then? What's that? What's that thing that the wicketkeeper has on his hands? Oh yeah, it's gloves.
I wouldn't see again, I'm not a huge baseball fan, but a baseball mitt for protection? Yeah, your hand is gonna hurt a lot more if you catch a baseball without a glove, right? But it's not like it's a helmet or anything.
This argument is largely hypocritical. I'm all for player safety, and I condemn those who make fun of things that make a sport safe to play, especially if it's safety for kids.
Oh, that's
You literally are a disgusting scumbag if you make fun of safety measures.
Yeah, okay, you're going a bit far there, okay? If they were making fun of helmets, okay, maybe. But I feel like a glove does make a ball easier to catch, although maybe it does prevent hand injuries, right? If they're knocking about something that can contribute to concussions, yeah, but throwing the scumbag accusation out for making fun of a glove, I don't know. I think that might be too far.
You literally are a disgusting scumbag if you make fun of safety measures.
Jeez.
On the other side of the coin, baseball fans will argue that the cricket ball is easier to hit, and therefore it's easier to score runs. But that's not necessarily
thank
true.
God. I thought this was going to be just a hating on cricket fans. He's doing both.
Yes, we've scientifically proven that it is harder to physically hit a baseball, but it's certainly not easier to score runs because of it. In baseball, generally there's 3 ways that you can be out: struck out, caught out, or run out. In cricket, there's 10. And not only do you have to defend your wickets, you also have to defend yourself. Because in baseball, if you're hit by a pitch, you get to cry about it a little, and then you get a free pass to first base.
Gonna really hurt.
In cricket, if you're hit by a ball, and subsequently hurt from it, it's perfectly legal.
Please tell me you were wearing a cup.
Cricket, if you're hit by a ball, and subsequently hurt from it, it's perfectly legal. And if it strikes your leg in front of the wicket, you're out. Throwing at the batsman is not only perfectly fine, but encouraged. A bowler could bounce the ball at your head with every ball, and it'd be perfectly acceptable.
Okay, but what if a cricket pitcher just didn't bounce the ball, but straight up threw the ball as fast as they could right at the pitcher? Wouldn't that be a bit...
Can you score runs efficiently if they're gunning for your face? Debatable. Baseball fans will argue that it's easier to put the ball in play in cricket. But that's not true either. It's not enough to just make contact with the ball. It's putting the ball in play without being out. In baseball, you hit the ball between the foul lines, which forms this 90-degree area. You hit the ball outside the foul lines, you're not out unless you're caught in foul territory. But a cricket batsman has to be able to hit...
Well, it does contribute to a strike.
...this 90-degree area. You hit the ball outside the foul lines, you're not out unless you're caught in foul territory. But a cricket batsman has to be able to hit 360 degrees around. Yes, they have to be adept at hitting the ball behind them, as well as in front and at their sides. And even then, they could still be caught or run out, as opposed to being let off with just a foul ball in baseball. Yes, there are bigger gaps in the field because the fielding team has to cover more ground, but there's a lot more to think about than just hitting a ball with all your might. In cricket, you have to be more selective with what you hit, because once you're out, you don't get another chance to bat. You are done. Baseball fans will argue that cricket
Have no skill whatsoever. Okay, shut up. Not the guy. Just whoever says that is ridiculous. This guy said it. But one of my favorite things about cricket is
you have to be more selective. Think about than just hitting a ball with all your might. In cricket, you have to be more run out.
There it is.
With hitting a ball with all your the fielding team has to cover more ground. But
I love in cricket that like if you're running after the ball and it's about to go out of bounds, you can like do this cool like dive out of bounds, catch it, and like throw it back in sort of thing.
There's a lot more to think about than just hitting a ball with all your might. In cricket, you have to be more selective with what you hit, because once you're out, you don't get another chance to bat. You are done. Baseball fans will argue that cricket bowlers have no skill whatsoever, but it could be argued that they have to have more. In baseball, a pitcher stands in one place, throws the ball in the air directly to a batter who is standing in one place. But a bowler in cricket can deliver the ball anywhere along the crease, on either side of the wicket. They can throw the ball on the full, like in baseball where it doesn't hit the ground, or they can bounce the ball from the floor. They can fast bowl it, spin it, hook it, roll it, either at the wicket, at the gaps around the wicket, or at the player themselves. Whilst we've proven that...
Couldn't that also be argued that that allows you... I don't know how that goes for the argument. The fact that you have different ways you can throw the ball. Couldn't you also say that that makes it a little bit easier for the pitcher, other than just having to always get it in the strike zone?
That they don't throw as fast, they use infinitely more tricks to try and get the batsman out. This, unlike what the myth suggests, requires skill.
I couldn't you argue that having less ways to get the person out, the batter out, would mean you'd have to be more skillful because you don't have all of the weapons to think about. And guys, I am not a baseball defender. I think the sport's kind of boring, so I'm just...
will argue that cricket is long and boring.
Says you. Oh my god. Ironic. If irony were made of strawberries, we'd all be drinking a lot of smoothies. A baseball player telling another sport player that their sport is boring. Okay, dude.
Not exactly covering themselves with glory on this one.
Yeah.
But the reason baseball fans say this is because of test matches. Due to their format, they can take anywhere up to 5 days to play.
Jesus.
Whilst that's down to the very nature of the sport and its rules, the same cannot be said about the newer format, T20, where some of the games are shorter than Major League Baseball games. It all depends on which format you're watching. And as for the boring part, that's a subjective opinion rather than an objective fact. In short, whilst I've categorically destroyed the myths surrounding each sport, this video has largely been a waste of time, because they're two different sports. It's kind of like comparing an apple to a lemon. Lemon fanboys will argue that lemons are better because they're more yellow, and apple fanboys will argue that apples are better because they begin with the letter A.
It's like politics.
You could invent any metric to support or disprove any argument between these two.
Oh, question, guys. Is this the different head wearings of Southern Asian religions? They seem to be different. And is this a Sikh head covering as opposed to Hindu or Muslim?
Invent any metric to support or disprove any argument between these two. But it's not a fair comparison. Because, read my lips, they are two different sports. Oh, and contrary to both sets of fans saying things like cricket is an inferior copy of baseball, or baseball is an American derivative of cricket, neither one of those is true. Because they always were and always have been two completely separate sports. They were invented around about the same time, with no common heritage or overlap other than the fact that both sports originated in England. There is no sport that is objectively better.
Baseball originated in England?
As the objectives are completely different for each one. Yes, both sports are played with a bat and a ball, but that's where the similarities end. The real question is, which sport do you prefer?
I do not prefer baseball, but I don't know enough about cricket to say I definitively prefer cricket. It's just I prefer watching cricket videos because I'm not going to waste my time with baseball videos. I'm sorry. All right. Sorry to any baseball fans. Yeah, if I have some questions, if you guys could answer them, I'd be very grateful. I love all you guys. I hope you're doing well. If not, chin up. You'll be good soon. Emotions are fickle, guys. Friends. See you guys next time. Bye.